very good morning, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Asian Vision Dialogue. Today, Asian Vision Dialogue has the great pleasure to invite Ms. Sothearoth, a lecturer from Institute for International Studies and Public Policy, to be our guest speaker. And for today's discussion, we are going to talk about the latest development of ASEAN Chairmanship this year in relation with the political situation in Myanmar. So without further delay, please join me in welcoming Ms. Sothearoth to our program. Greetings, Ms. Sothearoth.
So greetings, Sreynou, and greetings, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen who are now watching us at home.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Sothearoth, for joining us today. I think since today's topic is really important, I look forward to our productive discussion for this morning. Yeah. So for the first question that we would like to hear from you is that since some of you may know that Indonesia has successfully hosted the G20 summit last year, and currently Indonesia is holding ASEAN Chairmanship this year. So first of all, could you tell us what is the themes and the priorities of ASEAN under Indonesia Chairmanship?
Okay, so the theme under Indonesia Chairmanship in 2022 this year is actually quite interesting. So based on the remarks of President Joko Widodo as well as the remarks of the Foreign Minister Retno, they emphasize that they actually focus on, three pillars. So the first pillar is actually all about to my understanding, is actually all about the economic recovery after the COVID-19. That include the healthcare architecture or the innovation and health system within ASEAN, and food security, energy security, and financial stability. Because as you know that after the COVID-19, the ASEAN member country has actually suffered in terms of the health system, and also we actually suffer with the opening of our economy. So the local business has actually suffered the most. So ASEAN is actually trying to focus on the enhancement or the strengthening of the local SME, especially on the technology and e-commerce. And also they are focused on the financial stability as well, because the suffer of the economic after the COVID-19 has actually give a more capability or more opportunity for ASEAN to build up our fintechs and financial system in order to stabilize and refrain ourselves from being harmed or suffer by the future pandemic or other unexpected event. And also due to the crisis in Ukraine, country all around the world actually suffer with the energy security as well. So they actually focus, ASEAN actually focus on the economic on energy security, which is we try to move to another angle that we focus on ASEAN Green Deal. And that ASEAN Green Deal is actually focused on not only energy, but they are focused on food security and also financial stability, that actually try to innovate ASEAN country to develop more, and also at the same time eco-friendly operating and eco-friendly businesses as well.
Yeah. All right. Yes. Very interesting to know a lot of initiative from Indonesia. However, when we talk about the kinds of their initiative for the development and economic recovery, apart from that, we know that Indonesia also face some challenges with regard to dealing with the regional issues. In terms of the political situation in Myanmar, could you tell us what is the current situation in Myanmar in politically and economically?
Okay, so before answering your question, I forget to add another one. Another priority of Indonesia is actually focused on regional and international issue as well. And that, to my understanding, they will focus on three issues. One is war in Ukraine, and another one Myanmar issue and the South China Sea, because in South China Sea they want to finish the reading on the COC by this year, but I'm not sure whether we can finalize it or not. And regarding the situation in Myanmar, according to the briefing made by Dr. Noeleen Heyzer, the special envoy of the UN Secretary General, like during her closed-door briefing in the UNSC, she informed the UNC member that the situation in Myanmar has been worsened, and there's a lot of armed clash happening across the country, and a lot of refugee and IDP. And the State Administration Council, or what we call SAC, has imposed the law on the EAO registration and political party registration, which made the international community view that those two laws are actually prohibit or like set a clear condition for political rights for the people in Myanmar. So regarding the economic situation, because of nowadays, a lot of investors, and it's include the investor from Cambodia as well, they actually, stole their investment or business operation in Myanmar due to the instability. Yep.
All right. So we can say that the current situation in Myanmar has been worsened. That's why I have heard that the Human Rights Watch has urged ASEAN Chair Indonesia this year to resolve the crisis in Myanmar. So from your perspective, do you think Indonesia can help dealing with this issue?
I'm not sure, but I believe due to the influencing power of Indonesia in ASEAN platform and also in international platform, I believe there should be some progress. There's a lot of issues that the Indonesia need to focus on. They need to focus on the humanitarian assistance or humanitarian operation with inside Myanmar, and also they need to focus on the facilitation of like peace dialogue among the all concerned party in Myanmar. And also there's another issue that actually claimed by like the CSO or other humanitarian activists in Myanmar, saying that there's a problem within the education because due to, after the 1st February event, a lot of students actually drop out from school. Not only students from the high school, but students who actually study in university, they also drop their education because of the instability. So I think this should be the role of Indonesia that Indonesia need to focus on. And according to the press release of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Cambodia at the for ASEAN Foreign Minister retreat in early February, they hint that Indonesia is now drafting an implementation plan for the 5-point consensus. So let's see what is the initiative of Indonesia, and can Indonesia move the progress of implementing 5-point consensus forward or not. But I believe that Indonesia have the power and have the influencing role in order to help and move the progress and ease the situation in Myanmar.
Yeah, all right. Based on your observation from the previous chairmanship in Brunei and even in Cambodia, so now it's time for Indonesia. We would like to know if you can tell us how should ASEAN Chair this year can handle the Myanmar crisis, apart from your experience and observation from previous chairmanship.
Yes. Okay. Based on my research and experience in 2022, dealing with the situation in Myanmar, ASEAN should use more carrot rather than a stick. We can use the stick when there's like the situation is actually worsened, but if it is it's okay, so we should use the carrot. And even the case of Myanmar, if we compare in the United Nations, some of the UN member states, especially in the UNSC, they tend to less focus on the Myanmar issue, and they tend to focus more on the issue in Ukraine. So by saying that, it seems like the issue in Myanmar is actually less focused by the international community. So ASEAN should play a bigger role in like trying to solve the problem, because ASEAN, no, international community has actually less focus on the Myanmar issue. So it should be the role of ASEAN. And as I said in the second or the third question, ASEAN should focus on the like provision of humanitarian assistance in Myanmar, especially to hard-to-reach area. And by doing so, the special envoy or the head of the AHA Center should actually have a good negotiation with the head of EAOs in each state or each region in order to secure or protect the health personnel or like the AHA Center staff during their mission in transferring those humanitarian assistance to people in need. Another one, probably we should enhance the role of the ASEAN Secretary General in having an independent decision or authority in implementing contribute the humanitarian assistance in ASEAN. And also, ASEAN member states should also focus on, try to contribute more humanitarian assistance, because in 2022, there's only few countries such as Cambodia and Thailand who contribute the COVID-19 vaccine to Myanmar, while the other member states they tend to, some did not contribute and some they contribute less. So the other ASEAN member states, all ASEAN member states should also double their efforts in contributing ASEAN humanitarian assistance to Myanmar. Another angle that we should look at is that we should look at the term or the mandate of the special envoy itself. Yes. So, some people say that the mandate or the term for the special envoy is actually very short. They should not be 1 year term. There should be more than that. So some would say that they suggest that the special envoy should have a permanent role. But to my understanding, I believe that there should be an application of ASEAN Troika that is actually the initiative of Thailand and supported by Cambodia. So ASEAN Troika initiative should also apply on the special envoy term, which means that there should be, each year, there should be 3 special envoy. We have the incoming special envoy, current special envoy, and the outgoing special envoy. So each special envoy have 3 years to implement their mandate. So the current special envoy have a bigger role in implementing the mandate as a special envoy, like facilitating or mediating the peace dialogue. But the outgoing special envoy has the mandate to give a guidance and experience and share some of the recommendation to the current envoy. And the incoming special envoy, he or she can actually learn from the current envoy for 1 year, so that when it is that his or her term, he can manage the situation very effectively and efficiently, because the incoming special envoy has actually learned from the strength and weakness from the current special envoy, and he or she have the opportunity to learn the strength and weakness from the outgoing special envoy as well. And the decision of the special envoy itself is actually not depend on the current envoy. They have the decision of implementing the 5-point consensus, of facilitating the role of the special envoy in implementing the 5-point consensus, also contribute by the outgoing and the incoming special envoy. Yes, this is my idea. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Sothearoth. I think that's very insightful and a meaningful discussion today. Due to time constraint, I think it's time for us to wrap up. So thank you once again, Ms. Sothearoth, for taking your time joining us. And I look forward to having you in another episode.
So thank you, and you're welcome, Sreynou.
Yes. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, Asian Vision Dialogue has now come to an end. Thank you for watching and see you next time.